this is going to be the last time I'm going to ever reconnect, today. So while I'm still waiting for people to join, I am going to pin the question and answer to the screen right now. Let's do that ASAP. Okay. Paste. Okay, it is live on the screen right now. What are the top 5 most common land titles in Nigeria? If you have the answers, if you know the answers, just put them in the live chat. Welcome back. I'm Bisola Whiteflower, and you're watching me live from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm a real estate consultant, and I help Nigerians at home and abroad to invest safely and confidently in the real estate market. So like I said in the other live chat before I got disconnected, right, I said we are going to start with what is not a land title. So there are many land documents, right? There are many documents that people think they are land titles just because they are documents involved in transactions, in real estate transactions. But the truth is, just because those documents are a part of contracts, are a part of real estate transactions, does not mean they are title documents, right? So what is not a land title? Number 1 on my list right here, I have deed of assignment. A deed of assignment is not a land title. Many people assume a deed of assignment is a land title just because it is used, like no matter what, in any real estate transaction, there is need for a deed of assignment. But that does not mean it's a title. What is a deed of assignment itself? A deed of assignment is just that document that shows transfer of ownership from A to B. Let's say I am A, for example. I originally owned the land, right? Now somebody is buying that land from me. I am transferring my rights to that person, right? I am transferring the rights to that person, the rights to occupy, rights to use, or rights to maybe dispose as the person please. Even if I'm giving the person as a gift, I'm transferring my rights to that person. It is a deed of assignment that will show that my land rights have been transferred to that person, but that does not mean it is a land title. So that's one, right? So the only time a deed of assignment can become a land title is when it becomes registered as a governor's consent, right? Because when you want to obtain a governor's consent, you are going to obtain the signature of the governor, right? So that is the only time a deed of assignment can become a title, when it becomes registered as a governor's consent. And in this case, it will no longer be a deed of assignment. It has become a governor's consent. So, right, we have established that fact that a deed of assignment is not a land title. Thank you so much for joining the live session, Kumar. Hi, it's so wonderful to see you here. It's so wonderful to have you join my live session. We are watching Bisola live from Lagos, Nigeria, and we are talking about the top 5 most common land titles in Nigeria. Wishing you a fantastic 2026. Happy New Year, right? So if you know the answer to the question I pinned to the screen, you can please answer in the live chat. You can answer in the live chat. I'm doing very well, Kumar. It's so lovely to have you here. Alasto Gaming YT, hi, it's so wonderful to have you here, right? In case you know the answer to the question I put on the screen, you can put the answers in the live chat. And in case you have questions for me, you can drop the questions in the live chat. Inshu Official, you were with me on the other live chat before I had a little bit of interruption. Thank you so much for joining again. So now moving on, we have established that a deed of assignment is not a land title, right? It is only a document issued. It is only a document used to transfer, ownership. And a deed of assignment has features, right? It has the name of both parties, right? The assigner and the assignee. That is the buyer and the seller, right? Inshu Official. Okay, please pin my channel. I really don't know how that is being done, trust me. I really don't know, but I'm very sure people are going to, subscribe to your channel from here. Trust me, I really don't know how to. Okay, Alasto Gaming, can you explain completely from the core? I didn't know anything about your question. Okay, right? Alasto, if you can see my screen right now, you will see that I pinned a question there. What are the top 5 most common land titles in Nigeria, right? So now, this is a real estate channel, right? And I'm a real estate consultant. I help Nigerians at home and abroad to invest safely and confidently in real estate markets. So we know that real estate transactions is a legal contract. It is a contract that's enforceable, and it is a formal contract. What do I mean by formal contract? We have formal contract and informal contract. An informal contract, this is the kind of contract that we can just enter into, like, just orally, like, just with our with our mouths, like, okay, I'm going to do this for you, and you, the receiver, you are like, okay, I enter into a promise to you, right? We don't need to start getting documents, sign papers and all. That is an informal contract. But a formal contract, there has to be an agreement, and it has to be enforceable, right? So now, real estate transaction is a formal contract. So it requires some necessary documentation and verification. So now, there are some titles, documents that are involved in every transaction, right? Every real estate transaction. So, whose baby is that crying? Whose baby is that crying? Okay, that's my niece. She does not like bathing. She's having a bath right now, so that's why. Thank you so much for your concern. Africa will never unite. That's an interesting name. Thank you so much for your concern. Alasto Gaming, okay, I see great knowledge to have. Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Alasto Gaming. So, right, the question I am asking now is that these documents that are very important to show proof of ownership, right? What are the top 5? What are the top 5 most common land titles in Nigeria? So, right, I am on the section that not every document involved in land transaction is a title. So that is what I am trying to establish first before we now move to the answers, right? And one of those is deed of assignment. A deed of assignment is a document that is crucial in every land transaction. In fact, if you buy land, you don't have a deed of assignment, let's assume that you only have your receipts. No, you cannot even use that to defend yourself in the court of law, right? So, but even though a deed of assignment is very, very essential, and you must have it, it does not mean it is a land title, right? So that is the first thing I established. Now, another document as regards real estate that is very important but is not a land title is the survey. Africa will never unite. Okay, interesting topic, although I'm not from Nigeria. But thank you so much for the support, and thank you so much for joining the live, even though you are not from Nigeria. It's so wonderful to have you here, and I'm sure you will pick one or two. For example, I want to assume survey is a general. In fact, even deed of assignment is a general document, right? Ijaz, hello White Flower. Oh, thank you so much for joining my live session, Ijaz. The fact that you actually addressed me by that name. Do we know each other in person? I want to assume that. So thank you so much for joining my live session, Ijaz. So Vic, okay, Africa, thank you for reacting to my response. Vic, hi, where are you from? Live right now in Lagos, Nigeria, and we are talking about real estate matters in general, land matters in general, right? So another important document that is necessary in land transaction, right? But it's not a title, it's survey. The fact that they said a land has survey does not mean survey is a land title. What is a survey itself? It's just say Lagos, said oil, sell all land, please make me fufu or I'll give you grass. Okay, I love the fact that you guys are really making this live session highly interactive. So that's quite funny. It's just sell all land. Okay, can we really sell all land? Looking forward to that. You know, they normally say land is a free gift of nature, right? So but I think I clarified this as well on my other live session where we were talking about life is a free gift of nature. Then why are we selling land? As it is a free gift of nature. We are definitely not selling land. We are selling the rights. We are selling the rights that comes with owning land, and that's why all these documents are necessary. Okay, Vic, you are definitely Nigerian. I mean, there is a high chance you are a Lagosian. For you to know fufu. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, Ijas, can you do dance for me? Unfortunately, I'm not quite much of a dancer, and this live is about real estate. I'm so sorry, I can't fulfill your wish. Thank you, fan in DC. I want to assume this person is from Washington. Hey, cutie, thank you so much for joining the live session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Vic, tell everyone to like and subscribe, or we'll give them woto woto. This is quite funny, right? Okay, everyone watching the live session, Vic told me to tell you that you guys should like and subscribe to my channel. If not, it's going to deal with you guys. You guys are going to be in trouble. Thank you so much for fighting for me, Vic. So guys, please like this live session right now, and yes, subscribe to my channel. I always post useful real estate related contents, right? You definitely learn a whole lot on my channel, right? Okay, I'm in England. My dad is from Lagos. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support, Vic. Thank you so much for the support all the way from England. Thank you for joining the live session. Yeah, please refer me to your family and friends, and please share the live session to them so that they can also join. And you know, in case you are looking towards investing in Lagos, Nigeria, I want to assume I am your plug right now. Okay, Ijas, can you feed the baby? That's my niece. She's having a bath. You know how babies can be when they're having a bath. She does not like water, so that's why she's crying. So mama is with her, right? Thank you so much for your concern, Ijas. Thank you so much. God bless you for your concern. Monda, thank you so much. Hi, thank you for joining the live session. Thank you so much for joining the live session. Tell me where you are you know, watching me from. Tell me where you are watching from, Monda. Ijas, you are really concerned about the baby, but she's quiet now, right? She's quiet. Okay, don't worry, everything is in control, right? Thank you so much. So let's move on to okay, Vic, thank you so much for acknowledging my response, right? So what is not a land title? We already established that a deed of assignment is not a land title, right? But it shows transfer of ownership from the seller to the buyer, right? Now moving on to survey. What is a survey? So a survey is a document, not a land title as well. It's a document that shows boundaries. Okay, that shows boundaries. Let's say I am buying 3 plots of land from a large expanse, right? So the survey is going to show the beginning of my land and the end of my land, right? And the survey is going to show the details of the land. It will tell me the topography of the land, whether it is dry or wet, whether it is slopy or, you know, balanced, and all these details. It is going to show me if the land is under acquisition, right? In Nigeria, before you okay, what's okay, Jazz, you're watching from London. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for the support, and please share my live to your friends, right? Premo, thank you. Jazz, you're asking me a funny question, right? Premo, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for you know, acknowledging this live session. What's the land being used for? I really don't understand what you are trying to ask. I just, like, you know, land can be used for many things. Maybe you should be more specific with your question. Vic, you are still with me. Thank you. You can't be watching from London Eye because it's a ride. Okay, I want to assume that he's talking about the environment, right? Hi, us friend. Thank you. What's us? 8K. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling so great. I'm feeling so great. Thank you so much for joining the live session. We're talking about real estate here. Wishing you a happy new year. I am wishing you a happy new year as well. Wishing you a wonderful 2026. It's going to be an amazing one for us. Yeah, right. So so we're talking about survey, right? And we established the fact that a survey shows boundaries between, shows boundaries of your land, right? So a survey is not, you know, in Nigeria, if you want to buy land, right, you need to chart the land at the Surveyor General's office, right? So that you can know you are not buying a land that is under government acquisition, or a land that has been revoked, or a land that, you know, let's just say that is generally encroaching public interest. So a survey is going to show that. But even though a survey is very crucial, before you buy a land, right, you need to chart the land. You need to pick the coordinates. Even though it is very, very special, right, it is still not a land title. It is still not a land title, right? So we've established that a deed of assignment is crucial, but it is not a land title. A survey is also crucial when you are having land transactions, but it is not a land title. So if you know the answer to the question pinned on the screen, what are the top 5 most common land titles in Nigeria, please answer them. We'll still get to that, right? We'll still get to that, but we're not there yet. Okay? Canary King, thank you so much for joining the live session. Thank you so much for joining the live session. Please let me know where you are watching the live session from. If you're in Nigeria or if you're outside Nigeria, just let me know. It's so wonderful to have you here, and I'm wishing you a beautiful 2026, right? What was 8K? Beautiful first Sunday of the new year. Yeah, on points. Clock it. So what was you said you are going to subscribe to my channel for support. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot. Your support means a whole lot to me. I just speak to the government. I think we've lost touch, right? We've lost touch. I just, you are in Lagos. Oh, excuse me, John Rich from Tanzania. Thank you so much for joining my live session all the way from Tanzania. It's so wonderful to have you here, and I'm wishing you a prosperous 2026. Yeah, right? Now let's move on. Another thing, right? Receipts. This is another thing that I have on my list. A receipt is not a land title in Nigeria. It is not a land title. You know, I said it earlier, deed of assignment, survey, they are crucial, right? Your receipt is also crucial. But all these documents are not land titles. So if you are buying land and you see all this, it means you need something more. You need more than a deed of assignment. You need more than a survey. You need more than a receipt for you to be safe, right? So what is land title? Since we have established the fact that, okay, are you a solicitor, lawyer, I'm a real estate consultant. I believe I answer your question. John Rich, okay, welcome to Tanzania. Okay, it's so lovely to have you here. So I believe I answer your question, right? So I'm a real estate consultant. I help Nigerians at home and abroad to buy land and property safely. I help them to invest confidently in the real estate markets. You know, Nigerians abroad are not really on ground, you know, to see things for themselves. So we always share all this guide and information out there, right? Make a wall around the land. Okay, you are talking about boundary, right? Fencing, right? But let me tell you something. Even if you fence your land, it still does not mean it is safe. You can fence your land and you still lose it. They can still grab the land. Governments can even take the land from you, and that is why land titles are very, very important. So I am going to, since we have established what land titles are not, now we are moving into what land titles are, right? Okay, Nigeria is very corrupt. So that is why you need 2FA, right? Two-factor authentication. So having your land title is like having a backup right now, so that you are not going to lose your investments. I hope we are on the same page, IJAS. Freedy, I'm not from Nigeria. I mean, I'm Nigerian. Don't I look Nigerian? I'm Nigerian, of course. You said I look trans. That's quite funny. That's quite funny. Okay, I have someone right here from Mexico. Thank you so much for joining the live session, Hector. Thank you so much for joining the live session. All the way from Mexico. It's so wonderful to have you here, and I'm wishing you a fantastic 2026. Yolanda Solomon, good morning. So wonderful to have you here on my live chat. What else? Okay, please, I'm giving a very beautiful shout out to What else 8K. Please subscribe to his channel. And I'm sure he has a lot of amazing videos for you guys out there. So please subscribe to his channel. Abudiki, hola. I hope you're having a wonderful time over there. Wishing you a prosperous new year. Your request, that's a no. So this is a platform for strictly educational purposes, right? I share tips, and you know, let me just say I share real estate tips generally. So right, it is not an entertainment platform, so unfortunately I can't grant that request. So now let's moving on. Deed of assignment is not a land title, but you need it. Survey is not a land title, but you need it. Your receipt that is going to show that you make payments is not a land title, but you need it. So what exactly is a land title, right? So what does land titles mean? So a land title is a legal proof of ownership. It is a legal proof. In fact, don't let me use ownership, because in Nigeria you don't own land, right? You don't own land. Even if you buy it, it's more like you are a tenant to the government. According to the Land Use Act, all land is vested into the hands of the state government, right? AKA the governor. So no matter what, you don't own the land. But what you do is that you are occupying the land. Let's say, for example, exactly, thank you very much, the land is leased to you, right? Let's say you have a certificate of occupancy. The land is leased to you for 99 years, right? So now let's move on. So land titles are legal proof of occupancy, legal proof of use, legal proof that you can dispose the land as you please within that set time frame. I hope we get it. So meaning that if you don't have a land title in your own land, you are how should I put it? More like that land can be taken from you anytime. So that is why I said, even though you have a deed of assignment that shows that you bought the land, that land must have a title, because that is what, okay, let's just move on to why you actually need a land title. What does it do for you? Yes, thank you very much, Ijas. It is at risk. Your land is at risk. You are at risk of losing the land without a land title, right? So I'm still going to move on to the top 5 most common land titles in Nigeria, but before that, let's look at, why you actually need a land title. Number 1, like I said, proof of rights. Proof of rights is a legal proof, right, that is going to show that you are occupying that land rightfully, that you are using that land rightfully, that you can transfer the land as you wish, as you please, that you can dispose of the land, you can sell it to another person as you wish, right? So that is one reason you need a land title, right? Now, secondly, land title serves as Abdul Hasib. Jesus is not God, is the messenger of Allah. Okay, established. Thank you very much for joining my live session. Thank you so much for joining my live session. We're talking about real estate matters right here, right? So protection from land grabbing and fraud. If you are buying a land in Nigeria and it does not have a land title, there is a high chance that you are being scammed. There's a high chance that you are a victim of fraud. Because now, the proof that a contract has been established is not there, which is the land title. I want to assume we are communicating, right? So you are at risk of fraud, of land grabbing. You will see a situation whereby one person sold land to like 10 people, a land that has a title. It will be very difficult for you to do that. It will be very difficult for you to buy such land, where many people will now be fighting over land, and you are risking losing your land. So land titles offer that kind of protection. When a land has a C of O, for example, the C of O is the most common land title in Nigeria. It is top 1, and I believe I have answered the question. That's one of the answers of the question that is pinned on the screen. That what are the top 5 most common land titles in Nigeria? The certificate of occupancy is top 1. A land that has a C of O, for example, how do you want to do it? A land that is duly registered, that you before you buy it, you verify, you have all the necessary documents. It means government recognizes that title, that document. So right, number 3 now, one of the reasons you need a land title, because you can use it as bank collateral. Let's say you want to get a loan or a mortgage, for example. Your deed of assignment cannot stand in for you as a collateral in the bank. No, it cannot. Your receipt cannot. Your receipt cannot even defend you in court, right? Your survey cannot stand as an evidence that you own the land, so you cannot use it as a collateral, right? So I want to assume we get that. So land titles will stand in for you in the bank, right? What else? Compensation. There is the issue of compensation. Even though generally in Nigeria there is no adequate compensation, right? If the government revokes your land, whether for one reason or the other. There's no adequate compensation. But the only way you can get a compensation, whether adequate or not, is if you have a land title. If you don't have a land title, if you have your deed of assignment, this is the document that that shows that I bought the land. This is the receipt. This is my evidence of payment. This is my contract of sale. This. No matter the kind of agreement you have, if you don't have a land title, you will never get a compensation, right? You will never get a compensation. So that is that on why you need land titles, right? So we've established what is not a land title. Let me recap. Deed of assignment is not a land title, survey is not a land title, and your receipt is not a land title. So a land title gives a proof of ownership, right? And why do you need them? It is a legal proof that you are occupying the land rightfully, and that contract is enforceable, right? Secondly, you can use it as bank collateral. Other ones you cannot use it. Only land titles can stand for you at the bank. And number 3, it is a form of protection from land grabbing and fraudsters, right? And number 4, you need your land title in order to get compensation. So so far you are watching me live right on my channel. Right now I am moving on to the top 5 most common land titles in Nigeria, right? I've already mentioned one of them, which is the C of O. Now we are moving on to others, right? We are moving on to others. In case you are joining my live session for the first time, my name is Bisola Whiteflower, and you are watching me live right now from Lagos, Nigeria. I help Nigerians at home and abroad to invest safely and confidently in the real estate markets. Please subscribe to my channel because I always post useful real estate related content on my channel. You will definitely learn a whole lot, I promise you that. Yeah, right. And you should share whenever you come across my video that you think add value. You should share to your family and friends, save someone from making costly mistakes. There are so many tips and secrets on my channel, right? And yeah, okay, now moving on. So if 99 years expires, the government takes back the land and takes over or reinstates a new lease. This is a very wonderful question. This is a very beautiful one. So yeah, it's just like you said, right? The government takes the land back unless the person reapplies for a new C of O, right? So this is why it's very crucial when you know, when someone is buying land, even if the land has a C of O, that C of O might be a ticking time bomb. So you have to check the number of years left on it. If you are buying a land, even if it has a C of O, how many years left? Is it up to 20 years? Is it up to 40 years? So the extent to which, I mean, let me say the number of years, the number of unexpired term, the number of unexpired lease on that land will determine the value of that land. Imagine you are buying a land and it's remaining just 10 years. I mean, before you know it, you will have to start, you know, making preparations on how to apply for a new C of O. So you need to put that into consideration as well, right? So after 99 years, you have to apply. But you have to apply before that 99 years expires. Because the moment it expires, the land automatically goes back to the government. So it means government can come one day and go like, okay, you don't have a land title, what are you doing on this land? This is the government's land. All right, so before it expires, you have to start making preparation to renew that C of O. After 99 years, it goes back automatically to the government, which is the supreme landlord. You know, they own the land, right? So thank you so much for this question. What happens if my grandfather was on the land but then was removed? He did not buy the land, but it was family land. Okay, I don't fully understand this question, right? But I want to assume you are saying the land is family land. Let me go deep into this, right? I even have a video I'm going to post very soon. I already recorded the video. I'm still editing it, right? It's about the Land Use Act of 1978, right? Originally, all lands belong to the lords. like landlords. That's where we have the term landlord, right? Okay, yes, yes, but not ever purchased. Now, very good, very good. I want to assume you are talking about excision. Originally, people own land before the Land Use Act. Land is owned by families, by communities, you know. There are different laws guiding real estate in Nigeria before March 1978. So during Obasanjo's era, during the military era, right, that was when the Land Use Act became a law. And the reason they came up with that law is that whenever government wants to use land for projects, let's say infrastructure, there is no access to land. So now coming up with the Land Use Act means that, okay, all lands now belong to the government. But now going back to your question, Nwa, that okay, your grandfather did not buy that land. When government took over all the lands, there are some lands that were released to people, right? That is what they call excision. So it means there are some people that they never bought land, right? They never bought land from the government, and I want to assume your grandfather is part of those people. So that land was excised to them. It was released to them, being that they've owned that land for generations, and government could not just take control of the land. So now, I believe you now said government eventually took the land, right? Incoming was on a land, but then was removed. You did not buy the land, it was family land. Yes. So that is where we have the issue of revocation. When we say revocation, meaning the government took back the land, there must be a reason government took that land, right? Probably because it is under, let me say, acquisition, for example. How should I say this? You know, let's say government wants to build infrastructure like road or railway, you know, or let's say that land is close to water bodies or is close to an expressway. There are many reasons why government can revoke land, right? So I believe one of those reasons is why the government took the land from the grandfather, right? I need you to like share more information like on that, or you can send me a message via my WhatsApp contact that is on my channel, right? You can reach out to me if you really want us to like go deeper into that. But I would really love it if you share more details on the live chat. Let's just get straight into it, because usually I have a paid consultancy service, meaning when I'm dealing with someone one-on-one, it is paid. But this is whenever I'm live or any video that I put on my channel, that is free gift. So you can put more information in the live chat. Let's get to understand the details. So like I said, the first one, C of O, certificate of occupancy, and I believe we have established that already, that you get that for 99 years. Just as the name sounds, certificate of occupancy. You are only occupying the land. You don't own the land. The land belongs to the government, but the government is leasing it to you for 99 years. All right. So now there is a land title that is similar to certificate of occupancy of O. They call it R of O, right of occupancy. They are not the same. They are not the same. A right of occupancy is mostly issued in Abuja. Let me just say FCT generally, meaning you have the right to occupy the land, but you are yet to obtain a certificate of occupancy. Just see it as a provisional allocation. Like, just see it as, okay, this is just we are granting you permission to use the land, but it is not formal yet. So meaning that when you get your R of O, you still need to perfect the title to a C of O. So you can get a provisional use that, okay, you're occupying the land, you have the rights to occupy the land, but you still need a certificate of occupancy to prove it. So R of O is typically, or R of O is generally provisional. It is not the final. So anybody who has a R of O still needs to go and perfect that R of O to make it a C of O, right? So certificate of occupancy, C of O, R of O, right of occupancy. And just like a deed of assignment, right, or survey, all these things cannot stand for you in when you want to, like, let's say for collateral or something. You need more than R of O, right? So yes, so R of O can be considered as a title, but it is provisional. So anybody with R of O still needs to get a C of O eventually, right? So I believe we have established top 1 most common land title in Nigeria, which is certificates of occupancy. Now number 2 is government allocation. Government allocation is a title. When people, I am going to drop a video, right, as regards government allocation, if it is safe to buy. But for the purpose of this live chat, I am telling you that a government allocation land is safe to buy. What is government allocation? Government allocation is just trying to say that the person bought the land from the government. Government allocated the land, right, to the person. Government allocated the land to the person. So let's say I am buying land from Mr. A, but Mr. A has Vic is back. Vic is back. It's so lovely to have you back. You responded to iJazz on my behalf. Oh, thank you so much. He has really been on my neck. I mean, he has been trying to make sure he distracts me from this live session. But thank you so much for having my back. She has no phone number for you. I stole her phone. Oh my God. Thank you, Vic, for having my back. Thank you for having my back. So, right, government allocation, it means the land, even the source of the land, is legit. In fact, government allocation is like the most powerful source, right? It's like the most powerful source of getting land in Nigeria. So, but then a government allocation, right, should also be perfected. You also need to get a C of O, or a governor's consent, right, on a government allocation land title. So, but is it safe? Yes, it is safe to buy. If a land has a government allocation, you can they call it the gold title. You can use it, it can stand for you in courts, right? You can use it as a collateral. It is, in fact, this is the title that government is always looking for, right? So after government allocation, that is another most common land title in Nigeria, and yes, it is safe to buy. Oh my God, Vic is such a wonderful person. She's trying to teach people things, and all you want to do is chat her up. This is not a dating site. Oh my God, thank you so much for having my back, Victor. You know, I'm basically trying to ignore iJazz as much as I can. Thank you so much for having my back. You're such a wonderful person. iJazz, you better take your time. Be warned, right? Vic is here, okay? He's here to fight for me. Yeah, this is not a dating site. This is my channel, and it is strictly for educational purposes. I help Nigerians at home and abroad to buy land and property safely, to invest confidently in the real estate market. And this is a general knowledge live chat. So I share useful content as regards real estate investment. You can check out my channel. I have many wonderful videos for you. You definitely learn a whole lot from my channel. So subscribe. So now we've established 2 most common land titles in Nigeria. We have the C of O versus R of O. Of course, Vic, as you said, I'm choosing to ignore him now. So, and then secondly, we have the government's allocation, right? Now, third, governor's consent. You remember I said something earlier that a deed of assignment cannot, it can stand for you in court as a proof of ownership, right? Because it shows that you have someone has transferred their rights to use, rights to occupy, and rights to dispose land. They have transferred it to you, right? Well, it can only stand for you at that level, but it is not a land title. Remember I said unless it is registered as a governor's consent. So this is the governor's consent that we are talking about. So you will notice that a land can have a C of O and then a governor's consent. Sometimes you will see government allocation and then governor's consent. You know, there has even been you know, arguments that is the C of O supreme or the governor's consent, right? The C of O remains the most coveted you know, land title, right? But now let me tell you how governor's consent comes into play, right? If someone with a C of O land, someone owns a land, right? It has a C of O. Now he wants to transfer the right to use, to occupy, and to dispose of the land. He wants to transfer all those rights to you, meaning you are buying the land from the person, right? And you also need a C of O as a backup. But now the issue is the government cannot issue 2 C of O's on a land. Mind you, the C of O that is existing is carrying the name of the previous owner. But now you are buying the land from that person. You also need a C of O. But there can only be 1 C of O. That is where the governor's consent comes into play. So the government will not give you another C of O. The government will give you a governor's consent. Meaning that, okay, this land it has a proof, a legal proof, right? It has a C of O. But now this land is being transferred to someone else. So we can't give you another C of O. But because the original owner, the person who obtained that C of O, has his name on it, you also need a document that is going to carry your own name. So you will be issued a governor's consent. But mind you, the 99 years on the C of O is still the same that will be applied to the governor's consent. It does not mean that it's going to be a fresh 99 years. No. It is just that okay, the fact that there is a C of O already, without a governor's consent, the government will still recognize that person as the owner, even though you are the new owner. So that is why even if you buy a land with a C of O, if it is not carrying your own name, you should perfect it. You take your deed of assignment. Don't forget, deed of assignment is very important in land transaction, in all real estate matters, but it is not a land title. So now you take your deed of assignment to the governor's office. So that is how you obtain your governor's consent. Okay? So after the governor's consent, the number 4 on my list, most common land title in Nigeria, is excision. I've briefly explained excision the other time in response to Unwa's question, because Unwa said government took our grandfather's land, but he never bought the land from the government. So that is probably an excised land. In the olden days, the lands belonged to the lords, hence the word landlords. Families own land, communities own land. So there is fragmentation when the government wants to use when they want to build infrastructure, road, hospitals, affordable houses, and all these plans, right? to get land was difficult. So that was why during the military era in March 29, 1978, a land use act, a new law to govern all land transactions was made, right? So but because some people already have lands that have been passed down from generations to generations, the government had to release some land back to the people. That is what we call accession. So if you are buying a land that has accession, it is a valid land title. But you know what? It must not stop there. You must go and perfect the title and get your C of O. But is accession a land title? Yes, it is. Is accession land safe? Yes, it is. Can I buy a land that has accession as the title? Yes, you can. So it is a legal proof of ownership, right? So but what you need to do is, after buying a land that has accession, don't just relax and stop there. Go and perfect the title, because there are many lands that have probably been excised, but the government has revoked those lands. All right, so that is that. There are many lands that, or there are many lands that, okay, let's say the government revoked it, they can still release it. But let's be factual. The last time government excised land would be around maybe like 2019. We've not had any case of excision that governments released land since then. Things have been very crazy as regards the real estate industry in Nigeria, right? So if you are buying a land with excision, yes, it is safe, but do your due diligence to be sure that it has not been revoked. Make sure you take the coordinates, get a surveyor, right? Get a surveyor to chart the land at the office of the Surveyor General. Let them chart the land for you. Let them know if it is, you can get the land information certificate. Check whether it is not under any form of accusation. Check whether it has not been revoked. Check whether, yes, a chartered surveyor, IJAS, a chartered surveyor, yes, they know what to do. They go to sites, they pick the coordinates, they chart the land at the office of the Surveyor General. They go to the Lands Bureau, do all the appropriate findings, right? So a land that has an excision is safe, but please don't ignore your due diligence. Do your due diligence and do what? Perfect the title. Okay? Samuel Olawale, oh my God! It's so wonderful to have you here again. I'm so excited to receive you. Oh my God, you were with me on my live chat yesterday, but the network was erratic. Yeah, thank you so much for joining today as well, Samuel. Okay, Rapia is here as well. Oh my God, it's so wonderful having you guys around. I am so happy to connect with you guys again. Rapia, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's move on. We've established the C of O stroke R of O, the government's allocation title, the governor's consent. We are on excision, right? So the last one I am going to excuse me, the last most common land title in Nigeria I am going to talk about in this live session is gazette. What is a gazette? Rapia, thank you so much. Enjoy your day too. Thank you so much. And don't forget to like the live session, and please share to your friends. I always post real estate related content on my channel, and I always give out tips and secrets, right? Okay. So now gazette. What is a gazette? A gazette Vic is iJazz is looking for a wife on YouTube. I've never seen something so silly. I want to assume iJazz is just, you know, pulling my legs and trying to distract me from the live session. Well, anyways, I don't know what he's going to gain from that, but okay, iJazz, regardless, thank you for staying with me on the live session. Okay, Gazette, right? What is a gazette? A gazette is a government publication, right? A gazette is like an official document. You know, we talked about excision. We said Vic, okay, thank you for having my back. Anyways, okay, Samuel Olawale, back to class, guys. Let's take notes. I love the energy. Thank you so much for the spirit, Samuel. I want to assume you are subscribed to my channel. Of course, I definitely believe that. Yeah, please, your support means a lot to me. Thank you so much for always, you know, having my back. So now we spoke about excision, right? That governments released some lands back to some families, being that they have owned it for generations and generations, and they have been passed down. So, you know, they released those lands to them, even though all lands are now vested into the hands of the state governor, right? So now, a land that has been excised will be publicized in a government document known as the Gazette. So if you see a land title, if you check on any land, they put land title Gazette, they are trying to say that that land has gone beyond being excised. The government has released that land, and there has been an official publication, right? A land can be might have been excised, but the government have not publicized it. Yes, but when a land has been excised and it is in the government's records that this land, we have released it, right? That document, that publication is known as the Gazette, right? So this is where we are going to round it up, right? Although before we go, I am going to address the issues with all these top 5 most common land titles. I'm only going to address 2, right? So we are leaving very soon, but before I do that, let me do a kind of recapitulation of where we started, right? We started with what is not a land title. Deed of assignment is not a land title. Survey is not a land title. Receipt is not a land title, even though they play crucial role, right, in your real estate transactions. The fact that you have these 3 does not mean you are safe. The government can come for you. And we have established the reasons we need these land titles, right? Proof of rights, legal proof of rights to use, to occupy, and to dispose the land. From land grabbing and fraudsters, land titles will give you that, right? Bank collateral. Deed of assignment cannot serve as a bank collateral for you. It cannot serve as that. Deed of assignment can, surveys can't, receipts can't. Oh, this is the evidence I bought the land. It is not a land title. It cannot stand in for you. So land titles will give you those kind of backup. And then compensation. If you want to get compensation, let's say government revokes your land or something, even though there is no adequate compensation, but for you to even be eligible for compensation at all, you need to have a land title. Okay, I have Samuel asking me a question now. So that means such land can be bought by citizens, right? Yes, a land that has excision can be bought. It is safe to buy. A land that has Gazette as a title is safe to buy. A land that has C of O is safe to buy. Or R of O. Don't forget, R of O is just a provisional occupancy. It's just a provisional title. It still needs to become a C of O, right? So let me take it once again. C of O stroke R of O. Government allocation which is the most solid, right? What else do we have? We have governor's consent, which is the most supreme, and then we have excision, and then finally we have gazette. So those are the top 5 most common land titles in Nigeria, right? So so what are the issues generally facing? Okay, I have someone saying hello to me over here. Talent, I'm so sorry, I'm finding it difficult to pronounce your name, to be very honest. Talent Engema, I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for joining the live session. It really means a whole lot. I appreciate the love and support from all over the world, within Nigeria, outside Nigeria. Thank you so much for the love and support, right? So the live session is gradually coming to an end, and I'm ending it with these issues relating to the land titles in Nigeria. The first issue is that Margaret, thank you so much, Margaret Marutha, thank you so much, wishing you a wonderful 2026. Where are you watching me from? Let me know. Talent, let me know where you are watching from. Margaret, let me know where you are watching from. Vic, I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for being a part of this live session, and thank you so much for having my back. I want to assume your friend has gone. Thank you, Vic. I am so excited to meet you again. It's so lovely having you here. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in my next live session. Thank you so much. May God bless you. I love you so much. Bye. So, right, the first issue, right, is that processing all this can be lengthy. Yes, processing land titles in Nigeria can be lengthy, right? Okay, I wanted to say something the other time. It skipped my mind as regards excision. Margaret, thank you so much for joining all the way. This is Bisola Whiteflower. I'm a real estate consultant in Lagos, Nigeria. So you're watching me live in Lagos, and I help Nigerians all over the world to invest safely and confidently. Back home, in the dynamic real estate market in Nigeria, there has been so many scams, fraudsters are, just because Nigerians abroad are not on the ground to see things for themselves, and even family members are not so trustworthy. There are many cases, many scenarios where people send money home, right, for investment, so that when they come back, they have something to fall back to. People have sent money to their sisters, uncles, aunties to build. They keep collecting money from them, only for them to come back to Nigeria and nothing. So so that's why I always share information, share tips, share secrets as regards the real estate industry online right now. So questions are always welcome, but regardless, thank you so much. Yeah, Nigerians know they carry last for scam. Yes, it's as bad as family members scamming their own brothers and sisters, right? So it's really crazy. It's really crazy. I've had many people share their experiences with me, and yeah, it's not nice. We need to do better as Nigerians. We need to do better. I mean, we are even doing one another. It's not nice. It's not nice. So and that is why people need to be staying updated with information, joining live sessions like this. I give free tips on my live session, right? I give free tips on I have a paid consultation, that is a one-on-one, but whenever I'm live like this, I share updates, I give free tips, and on my videos as well. So what else? Thank you so much. You are still here. You are still here with me. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much. Okay, I have someone here. Norman, thank you so much for joining the live session. It is almost coming to an end. Samuel Olawale, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for appreciating. So right, I was talking about excision. Even though excision is safe to buy, if you see excision in progress, please, it is not safe to buy. In fact, if you see government allocation in progress. No, please. Because what if the government does not eventually allocate that land? What if government did not eventually excise that land? What if they don't release the land eventually? You might end up losing your funds, losing your investment. So excision in progress is not a title. Excision itself is a title. It is safe to buy a land that has excision as a title. But excision in progress, like I said, I don't think any land has been excised since 2019. Imagine people that have put down their money on a land that has excision in progress. Until now, there is no excision. So excision is a 50-50 thing. So excision in progress is not a title. Please don't buy it. It is not safe, right? So that takes me back to the issues regarding land titles in Nigeria. It is lengthy. Getting a C of O takes a whole lot, right? It takes a whole lot. It can take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. So all these things, they take time. Okay. I want to buy land in Aso Rock. Go. Okay, I'm not going to be the one that will sell that to you. Thank you so much for that funny comment. GOA. So of all the land titles, which one is the safest and the best? Okay. If you see a land title with C of O, it is very safe, you can buy. If you see a land title with government allocation, it is safe, you can buy. If you see a land title with governor's consent, it is safe, you can buy. Right? Excision is good, gazette is good, but they still need to be perfected. Even government allocation still needs to be perfected, but you are very safe. You are very, very safe because you bought directly from the government. But now, the issue with lands with perfected titles is that they are usually expensive. They are usually, in fact, government allocation, for example, is one of the most expensive, but it is also the safest. I can give you that. Governor's consent as well. If a land has governor's consent, it means double backup. Right? It means that land already has an excision or a gazette or a C of O, and now a governor's consent. That's like 2FA, two-factor authentication. So C of O, government allocation, governor's consent, they are the safest, but they are very expensive, right? Because a lot of money has gone down into obtaining those titles. A lot of things have gone down, right? Which will take me to the second issue. Aside the fact that land titles in Nigeria can take so much time, they are also very expensive. That is why a land which its title has been perfected what was I about to say? Sorry, I zoned out. Okay, if they have been perfected, they cost a whole lot, right? You can get some lands that are not that the titles have not been perfected for a lesser price. If you are looking at a land with a government allocation today, especially in booming areas, let's say like Ibejuleki, for example, let's say places around Idera Scheme, Eleko, all these coastal roads, axis, you must be holding a whole lot of money, at least 25 million for a full 500 square meters plot. For like 300 square meters, you can be holding like 15 million. Although you can spread your payments, right? You know how we do it. So for commercial, you can budget like 35M. You know, there are some residential projects that are up to like 35M, 50M, and the likes. So right, so it's crazy, right? It's crazy, right? So now, costly, like I said, this is going to be the last on my list. Processing. David, thank you so much for joining Thank you so much for joining the live session. Almost means an end, right? You can let me know where you are watching from in case you are seeing me for the first time. I'm Bisola Whiteflower. I'm a real estate consultant and I help Nigerians at home and abroad to buy land and property safely and invest confidently in the dynamic real estate markets, right? So another issue with the land titles in Nigeria is that then I think C of O will be better since it's cheap. I'm Nigerian and I like cheap things, but thanks for explaining. Okay, but trust me, C of O lands are not cheap because a whole lot has gone down. You know, even getting all these title perfection, a lot of bribery and corruption is involved. So it is definitely making all these lands that has perfected titles, they are expensive. I can't even joke. I can't even lie to you. They are expensive. It is not cheap. Any land that has a C of O, especially in Lagos, right? In Lagos, lands that have C of O in beautiful locations, right? Great locations. It is for the 1% of the 1% of the 1% now, right? Except, you know, if you are really looking towards, let's say, investing in, let me say, Lagos, and you want a perfected title, let's say like C of O, right? You need to go towards the boundaries a bit, like these Lagos Ogun boundaries. You know, places like Imota, you can still get a land of 2.5 million or 3 million that has C of O. Yes, you can. So, but let's say places like David, bonjour, salute. Where are you watching the live from? Let me know in the live chat. So, but in places like Ibeju-Lekki, you know, the new international airports, all those expressway, Lekki-Ekpe expressway axis, they cost a whole lot. The Lekki-Ekpe corridor, right? So, bribery and corruption, you know, though that is another issue that is affecting, you know, perfection of title in Nigeria, especially in Lagos. Oh my god, we literally streamed for 1 hour 12 minutes and this is so wonderful, this is so lovely. I want to appreciate every single person who, you know, took their time to stay with me on this live today, and everybody who joined briefly. I hope we all learn and gain something, right? Thank you so much to everyone. I really appreciate it. You can subscribe to my channel. Okay, Mr. Samuel, you're running from C of O right now. So it's been a wonderful live session and I'm really glad that in one way or the other we gained value. To everybody who asked questions, to everybody who listened, to everybody who shared, to everybody who subscribed, I love you all. I love you so much. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. It means a lot. It means a lot. So this is the end of the live session. This is the end of the live session. I hope to see you guys again. I hope you guys will, you know, connect again with me. So it ends here. It ends here. So bye. Logging out. Let me see if there are any this thing I didn't respond to. Wow, it's really lovely having so many people around. It's really lovely having so many people around. In the last hour, okay, we have Kumar joined. The last two, Inshu. The last two. Africa We Never Unite, iJazz, Vic, okay, Monda, Premo, Waters, it's K, Canary King, okay, the repetition, Amira Fridi, Hector, Chaperon, Mwah, So many people joined, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. They kept it interactive. Vic got my back. Somewhere I was so excited to see him join. Rapia, Engema, Margaret, Norman, David. Okay, someone had something silly. Joseph, Pew. Okay, Samuel, you already answered him for me. Thank you so much. Should I please subscribe? I always post useful real estate related content. You definitely learn a whole lot. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel, for joining me. Thank you so much for having my back. Vic, a very big shout out to you as well. Thank you so much. I love you guys. See you around. See you on the next one. And it's a wrap.